Action. Welcome back. How you doing? Anybody who's watching, everybody who's looking, all the people who was here from last week, and all the new people, welcome. This is the Greenthought podcast. My name is Shawn Reinhardt. Coming back again to check in on you. How's your week? It's been a whole week since the last time I talked to y'all. I mean, is everything going good? Hopefully everybody made it through this week. I'm back here with y'all again. I was going to try to make this like a little bit more, structured and, have it be a little bit more, run a little bit more fluently. I got some feedback from some of the wonderful fans. I'm happy to have y'all. But first, I just want to say, thanks. Thanks for being here. And you know what? Before we get started, obviously, y'all know what we got to do. Boom. Still here, sativa. So that's what we're going to do right here on the Greenthought podcast tonight. Before we can even get started, we got to spark up. So, I got my little ashtray here. This is from Cancun. So, Cancun, Mexico. Shout out. Everybody out there. It's pretty smooth. That's what's up. So, I'm going to let this go ahead and rock. Hit this from time to time. As far as comedy's concerned, I had a good week. Had a show last Saturday. I got to perform a show with Carlos Mendez. Set up the show at the Salty Frog. There's a nice bar out there, in Imperial Beach. So had a good time out there, man. Shouts out to everybody who came out to that show, who made it really nice for me to be out there, and all of us. It was super weird. Like, the crowd was kind of light, but it was dope because all of the other comedians who was already there was really inclusive. Like, they brought it in. Carlos Mendez, great dude, is a local San Diego guy. And all the guys who were on the show, I just want to give a quick shout out to, it was me, Milton Moore, who was dope, Tommy Lasorro, who I've seen like a couple of times out of the Madhouse and Comedy Palace. The headliner was Dallas McLaughlin. Yeah. And, the coolest dude that I got to hang out with there was Joseph DePaul. Shout out to Joseph DePaul, man. Like, he was at the bar. He was hanging out. He was already cool. He was already hanging. You know what I mean? No matter how, nothing was going to get him shake from his thing. We was both watching the UFC, like the UFC joint. We put a little nonsense. We put like what's the movie? We put the Trading Places bet on one of the fights. I won. You know what I mean? You can look it up. Don't worry. We're gonna go through Trading Places. It's one of the movies we're definitely gonna review on this show. But shout out to Joseph. He was cool. He brought me in. He was talking to me and made it seem cool to be out there. Shout out to Salty Frog. It was dope out there. I had a good time. I think the crowd was really good. It was good comedy people. As far as this past week in like real life, I had some wild shit happen to me where all of the main like business people, like the higher ups, all of the bosses, the HNICs, they was all in my restaurant, and I had to wait on them. It was kind of weird because I thought it was going to be an easy thing. Like, y'all all work here, so there's no reason for me to have to like spiel. But they wanted to see the spiel. They called your boy on it, so I did what I did. And I think it all went well. You know what I mean? I didn't get fired. All the food came out okay. I don't know. I was thinking about having like this whole service industry like kind of segment for people who are in the service industry, like service industry nightmares. That could be a totally new thing for people who don't work in the service industry or in customer service at all. Like, sometimes you deal with so much stuff during the day or the night or whatever, that when you get to sleep, it just compounds in your sleep, and you have nightmares, work nightmares. I mean, service industry people comment below. Let me know. Let me know for sure. You ever have like nightmares about this place? You ever had a work nightmare? Look, you ever had a work nightmare? And it's like, yeah. And it's like somebody else walking up real quick. And it's like, yo, you ever had a work nightmare? We on the front line. Like, you could be in the kitchen, I think. You could be in the kitchen. And you deal with, like, some hard stuff. Like, some rushes and stuff, but unless you on the floor, you know what I like it to? I liken it to, and it's another movie, hopefully, I'm saying a bunch of movies we're going to get to, but like, Casino. Great movie. Classic movie. Pesci's character, gangster, from out east, comes out west or whatever. And he's supposed to donate, he got to kick in, he a part of the family, he got to kick in. But like, yo, when he got to kick in and the money was short, he was kind of telling him, like, listen, you don't understand. I'm out here dealing with these savages on the front line. Like, you know what I mean? These degenerate gamblers. Yo, we on the front line. like, have you ever sat down at a restaurant and try to order something that wasn't on the menu? Like, if you have done that and you watching this so you can hear my voice, you might be an awful person. I stand by that. But anyway, I had a good week. I actually had such a good week that I got roasted at my job. Straight roasted. Like, I couldn't even come back from it. Sometimes it's a home run. Sometimes it's just like a wet jumper. Like, you know what I mean? There's nothing you can do about it. I don't know if that's the word I wanted to use. But what happened was this. Y'all tell me y'all think it's funny. So, at my job, they host like these parties, and sometimes people bring extra equipment and sometimes they leave it behind. And they was like, cleaning all the stuff out, like, spring cleaning. When they was bringing stuff out, they was trying to like really auction off stuff to my coworkers and myself. One of the things they was giving away was the tripod. And I was like, yeah, I'll take a tripod, like, for sure. Because I figured it would help, in the future of this endeavor, the Greenthought podcast. Like and subscribe and comment down below. And then the next thing that came up was an iron. And my boss was like, well, Shawn, since I got the tripod, like, Shawn, do you want this iron? And the girl, Jen, shout out to Jen. She know who she is if she watching this. Timing was perfect. She was like, does it look like Shawn irons his clothes? I was like, oh. Because I don't. It was like a put-back dunk. So, shout out to Jen. She know who she is. It is actually with a heavy heart that I gotta bring to you that one of our dearest and closest friends and companions passed away, and this is an official in memoriam and memorandum. Memorial, a Greenthought memorial moment for Tigre Bugs, our family great inspiration for many great things. And Meow Memorial, Meow Memorial moment. I want to give a shout out to Tiger Bugs, who has passed away to the next life. We definitely got smoke. We definitely got to hit something for her. Okay, so if you out there and you got a bowl and you listen to me, you got a blunt, you got whatever you got, like yo, this is for Tiger Bugs. Was known to be the best of cats and also the worst of cats simultaneously. From the Greenthought podcast, we sparking one for you. Let's go ahead and put it up. Maybe we'll play like some soft music under this, or I'm getting a little choked up. The inspiration for the epic character El Tigre in the world famous children's book. Let's get this. Let's get this. Yeah. For everybody, let's just make it real clear. That's Tiger. That's El Tigre. Let's do one of these, I guess. Let me just put this right here. Since the last time we talked, I think I kind of alluded to my high school baseball coach, Don Gilbert. He ended up getting fired from Dunbar, man. Which was like super crazy to me because like out of the blue, I started this out of the blue, and then like right after I started this, he ended up getting fired. I don't know. I just kind of wanted to touch on that for a quick second. That's fucked up. They parted ways with him. They thought his time was up. He teach there for 20 years. Everybody I know fuck with Mr. Gilbert, so like I don't know. I wanted to go ahead and throw that in there real quick. I don't know. Living out here in San Diego is fucking with me because it's sports going on, and it's really hard to keep track of the sports because I don't have cable. I really like the Orioles, right? And I looked on the internet the other day, and I know that they're not doing so good. You don't have to take it super serious, like. But I think that with the podcast, I'm going to try to do that. Let me know if y'all like that. Like if that's something y'all want to see. Like me like cover sports. And I mean, you tell me your favorite sports team. And I fucking tell you if they lame or not. Or if they good, if they good. Hold up. We're going to do a whole breakdown on Fight Club. Let's just take a small break. Just hit the jump. I told you I was going to do movie reviews. I told you I was going the movies that I think you should see. There's movies that we all consider to be classics. You know what I mean? Like they come up in conversation all the time. And to be honest, a bunch of them you never seen before. I never seen before. You know what I mean? Who got time to watch a 2-hour and 30-minute classic movie like Godfather 1 or 2? I'm going to watch these movies for y'all. I'm going to give you the breakdown. What movie did we do this week? Fight Club. Fight Club. This is the book. It was written by Chuck Palahniuk. How you say this? Chuck Palahniuk. We're going to find out how to say it. Chuck Palahniuk. All right. So a robot just told me that the way to pronounce this is Chuck Palahniuk. This is not that big. I mean, the font is kind of small, but you could breeze through this and get I heard this was like a really good book. I never read the book. Other really good movies based on books that you might not know, Forrest Gump. That's why they made it the movie. And then everybody saw the movie. It came out in 1999, almost 10 years ago, right? What? Is something on the wall? Don't do that. 20 years ago? Oh shit. So yeah, 20 years ago. It was obvious. It was bad math, and that's what bad math will do to you. It will make you think that something's going to kill you. Fight Club, anyway, was basically about this dude who had like a mental illness. So spoilers, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. This movie is about a dude who had mental illness, right? His life was super boring, and he was mentally ill, and he formed a personality who was the dude he wanted to be. I mean, sometimes that happens. You know, you like fucking, you know, you thinking about like, yo, what if I was in the NBA? I would do it like this. You know what I mean? You create a whole NBA 2K person. You know what I mean? And be that guy. But anyway, but this is the thing though. The dude that he created, he didn't know he was that dude. He was a dude dressed like a dude who didn't know he was the dude was. He ends up blowing up his apartment because he's like a master of making soap, which is also a bomb some kind of way. I don't know. They explain it in the movie. I mean, he blows up the apartment, which makes him need to have a different place of residence, which he creates in his mind is this guy's house. So he goes to this guy's house, and it's this abandoned ass building, and they talk, and they kind of they get this little bond where they think, you know, materialistic shit is not worth anything, and I get it. If they was to release this movie now, what people would think would be different. Like, the imagery was mad problematic. It was like these white dudes, like in this regimented ass cult like kind of thing in this Fight Club, which, by the way, you rewatch, you'll see started because this dude was in a parking lot swinging on himself. It was cool because only person who got hurt was one of they guys, Robert Paulson, who was played by Meatloaf. The dude who I'm talking about, who had, I'm thinking, the mental illness, who started Fight Club by having a fight in a parking lot by himself, being approached by two guys who I guess was like, yo, what's the deal? What's going on with you, fam? Is you okay? And he punching himself in the face, and he's like, yeah, don't worry, everything's okay. And shout out to those dudes who was in that parking lot, who saw somebody fighting himself and decided, let's get down with this nigga. Like, oh, I'm good. I'm just punching myself in the face. I don't know. I can't see it. This dude, who is two people, creates this kind of like team, this whole like a cult organization in this abandoned house, in a bando, you know what I mean? And they all do, it's like Project Mayhem, where they committing crimes, right? Where nobody get caught and nobody get arrested, and it's all white dudes, and it's all cool. They like, yo, like what they do? Like, they blew up a statue, and then they start committing these random acts of crime that don't really hurt nobody, but at the same time, it's like, how ain't nobody get fucking locked up? Come on. Like, I don't know where this was set in. I think it's New York. I'm being told that it's not New York, but where else could it be? I don't know. Like Michigan or fucking Reno. This whole thing comes to a bottleneck because, like I said, this guy's got fucking mental illness in his head. He is all at one time setting up these events to like happen and telling people to not spread the news of it, so that when he's trying to like figure it all out, they telling him it's all good. So it comes to a head with him like trying to turn himself into the cops, and they like in on the job. is so like infiltrated. And you know how it got there? The service industry. It was the service industry. I told you, you gotta watch out for the service industry. What they did was they was enabled to blow up credit card companies. They used to like blow up a bunch of credit card companies, and like they wanted to like mess up all the financial structure. Which, I mean, it's a really intricate way to have like domestic terrorism that you can feel good for. It's like if they was to run up in Sally Mae or whoever owned your mortgage and blow that shit up, you would be totally down with it. But overall, you know, that shit is wrong, man. So what ended up happening is uh, Ed Norton, who is the protagonist slash antagonist, like by the time you get to the end, he shoots himself in the face to kind of snap himself out of seeing and I guess dealing with his extra personality, which is Tyler Durden, who is played by Brad Pitt. Shoots himself in the fucking face, man. It's a good movie. Shit. Thanks for tuning in again. Greenthought Podcast. This was episode 2. Next week, we're going to do another movie. I'm going to give you another check-in on the stand-up for me. You know? Boom. It's the Greenthought Podcast with Shawn Reinhardt. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment at the bottom, and have a good one, man. Be easy. Tell me what you think about marijuana legislation in California. No thoughts on that? How did you feel about being a part of the Habanero Squad movie? Before you leave, I don't know why you gotta show me your backside like that. And there you have it, Beatrix Kiddo. Thanks for stopping by. I know, right? I'm getting up.